Hello everyone, Blue Star Saber here once again to do another One Piece chapter review, chapter 1135, Friends Cups. Let's see, I meant to do this chapter a while ago, perhaps arguably the weekend before like the inauguration of the US thing, but I got too distracted, and I will admit I accidentally tried to review this chapter before the previous one, but I realized before then I had to end it. But anyway, yeah, enough of my backstory on that. I'm here to do the chapter in which last week I believe you've got pretty much Sol offering to show Nico Robin in the library, also Straw Hat's being more touched by Robin's words about how she'll always be with them and all that stuff, as well as Luffy and Usopp finding out that the kids aren't learning to be warriors on Elbaf, and some controversial aspects of the fact that Vegapunk might come back as a clone, and I also store Kuma's memories, if you will. So, but other than that, there was also the hype moment of two mysterious cloaked figures arriving at the former king's castle. One of them appears to be Shanks, but everyone believes it's to be the evil Shanks twin brother theory. That's just been pretty much confirmed at this point. But yeah. So now with all that out of the way, how this chapter will cover it with Friends Cups. Well, before that, we've got the cover story page where we got Ogre Child Yamato's Golden Harvest Surrogate Pilgrimage, Volume 21, I'm Different Now, in which you have Tama breaking free from Holdenham's grip, kicking him in the face. Let's see, and I think you see the sword dropping the sword, which seems to have damaged to cut the tiger by accident, and it looks like she's broken free. Let's see, apparently this cover had a bit of controversy because it's like, oh, can Tama now solo, Hold'em? It's like, is this, Oda not being consistent with power scales? The way I see it is she's not beaten Hold'em. It's more of like she's become strong enough that she's able to help herself escape from him. I'm pretty certain that Yamato would pretty much immediately beat up Hold'em once Tama has been free. It's just a more of a show of character growth and progression from Tama, who was like a helpless hostage towards Hold'em, now able to break free. So yeah, arguably you could say it's played for a little bit of comedic effect, but then again, Hold'em is not really what I'd say a serious antagonist. He is more of like a sort of warm-up opponent for Luffy during the first act of Wano, which he was never going to have he was never going to be a threat against him. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the cover page. So yeah. Anyway, we see Chopper and Barney reading a giant book with them commenting about how big the letters are, that they can't even read them. Where Sol tells this owl called Bilbo, from what we saw briefly in the last chapter, saying that he's the one that lords over the library and has apparently been around for centuries. Saying that all we know is that the owl up there will be able to make any book that enters his territory grow to enormous size. As we get a bit of an introduction called Biblo, which I will admit I thought it might have been spelled Bilbo, but like it from The Hobbit, but I was clear I'm mistaken. I'm gonna read that out loud. But anyway, we get an introduction text saying Owl Library Chief Librarian, as we get explanation for why books can grow to enormous size. So he goes on to say, because Elbaf ain't affiliated with the world government, we don't get like news cues here, but it says that you can read little newspapers that fishermen apparently get while at sea. And Lilith gives an explanation that she expects that it's a growth owl that a growth owl has eaten the grow fruit, and saying it can cause any inorganic matter to grow, and saying that it's the perfect power for the land of the giants. So asking Robin, does this all take her back? In which she says it does. Chopper asks, is there any medical books, with Robin saying they do, but saying most of it's on archaeology and history. Let's see, with then Ritzy being told that someone explains to Chopper how they got, let's see, some medical books here in Elbaf. Chopper, enthusiastic, wants to see them, but warns them that they're always big, so you can't shrink down, which upsets him, but nevertheless. Let's see, I will pretty much give my thoughts on these first two. Let's see, basically first 2 pages here. So I do like that we're seeing more of Chopper and Bonnie and Robin. Let's see, hanging in the Library of Soul, trying to read books, and we get a bit of info dump and lore bits of like a bit of world building here. And let's see, Elbaf, where we learn that there's actually an owl called Bilbo, who's actually the librarian chief, and as we got Vegapunk trying to do a scientific theory, which I do like, is explaining that this owl probably has the grow fruit. So, yeah, in a sense, Lilith is being a sort of like information dump on like how to explain some of the like theories and laws that's going on around Elbaf, which some might say losing the mystery, but I think it works when you have a scientist capture on saying, okay, grow fruit. So, yeah, they're able to make any small books large. And it's not just books they also make large. They make newspapers large as well, which is how the Giants were probably able to find out that Luffy was in trouble in Egghead, and they came to help him and all that. So, yeah. But it's also interesting to learn that news queues don't go to countries not affiliated with the world government. So, and the fact that they've got some fishermen that end up sending let's see, the fishermen I'm not sure if that means the race fishermen or if they got like fishermen, like as in your regular fishermen who just collect fish. I am curious to see which is which. If I had to guess, it would be more of like fishermen that they have that collect let's see, fish. But no, I do like the idea of fishermen, as in the fisherman race. Let's see, working with Giants and giving them bits of information, and arguably being another place that they can be with, because I doubt Giants would, let's see, discriminate too much against fishermen. And we do know that there are fisherman giant hybrids, as there was once one on Foxy's crew. As let's see, as we recall from like the recent Egghead chapters, he's been reduced to like the 2 most common members of his crew that's next to him all the time. So there's that aspect there. So yeah, I do. Anyway, I do like how but yeah, I do like how the owl has like sort of like glasses on, and his wings look like more like a black coat around it, like it's sort of like an Elbaf coat. Now, granted, that could possibly be an actual Elbaf coat, but I assume it's going to be the wings. I like that how Sol and Robin are talking about how this is bringing back memories, but yeah. I do like that Chopper is enthusiastic to try and learn as many miracle books as possible, whether it be from Ohara or like Elbaf, but unfortunately for him, Ohara mostly did historical research, and Elbaf's books are too big, he cannot be shrunk to human size, so, and he's already having trouble trying to read the big letters, so, yeah, we have to see where this goes. Granted, I guess he could try and transform into his monster point and read for like 30 minutes before reverting back to the thing. We'll have to wait and see what he does. But yeah, we'll see what we're going. But at the very least, I'm glad that Chopper's got something to do at the very least, even if we don't see him for a while. So doing it, but yeah. But yeah, so basically we got like so yeah, that's basically everything about the owl. That's perfect for Land of Giants with his or her grow fruit. Anyway, we cut to like Luffy and Usopp, who are playing on the swing, going super fast, and he's like, Luffy's excited, but the boys are crying, and Usopp is screaming for his life, as Luffy's just going like, push harder, as Luffy goes like, wow, this is great, I love this giant swing, but then a Retzi panel later gets beaten up by Nami. as he apologizes for let's see for scaring those children, as Nami's shouting, "Those were children, you're terrified," showing Nami's motherly side or protective side over kids, as she normally does, with Usopp also being beaten up and got a bump on the head, saying that I tried to stop him, saying that why are you punishing me? It's Luffy that's the cause of all this. But yeah. But anyway, the little boy is got cry up to Miss Gerd, saying how the humans are scaring them. With Gerd being all sort of like a motherly or big sister like thing, saying, "Oh, you poor things," hugging them. Luffy just gets more angry and says, "Hey, a warrior shouldn't be crying. It's pathetic." Being a bit mad that they're not acting like warriors of Elbaf that he comes to expect. With Sanji saying to stop at Luffy, saying that children here are raised to be kind and well-meaning and pure. But as soon as he says that, he notices that these little boy giants are just as leeches as Momonosuke was whenever he got scared and pretended to be be hugged by either Nami or Nico Robin, taking advantage of his young age, if you will. As you get Sanji, of course, angry, saying, "You smug little brat! This is just a universal trait," which it's starting to seem to be the case, though, granted. Let's see, we've only seen it with Momonosuke. We'll have to wait and see if any of the other, let's see, we have to see if there's any other kids that are like that as well. But anyway, just after Sanji's shouting and complaining, Luffy goes "I'm really sad about this, Usopp," as we see a bit of a more outward panel of the whole Elbaf school. With Usopp saying, "I know how you feel, but you can't complain about Elbaf trying to live in peace." And then suddenly a giant sword tries to attack Luffy as someone shouts, "I found you, Straw Hat Luffy," as Luffy's going "Ah!" With Luffy saying, "Hey, what happened to being peaceful?" As we see, let me try. Let's see, boy that the little giant boy that wants to join Shanks's crew. Hold on, let me just trying to remember its name. Giants One Piece. I should have gone the wiki up. Let's see. Should have gone the wiki up sooner. Oh well, that's my fault for waiting so long. Of a giant squad. Nope. Elbaf Giants. Huh. Okay, give me a sec. Oh yeah, Colin. Let's see. It's pretty much Colin attacking Luffy, as he says he got him now. But Luffy, he breaks his sword. Granted, he's just standing there. I assume just probably either activated his hockey. In many ways, it's a very similar manner to what happened when that one Vice Admiral giant tried to attack Whitebeard, and then Luffy. Though granted, you see Luffy jump up. Much to Colin's shock, as Luffy uses Gear 3 Gum Elephant Gun. Colin manages to dodge it, pretty much avoiding a one shot like that one giant that Whitebeard took out. As Usopp ends up shouting at Luffy, telling him to take it easy. But Luffy goes "What? I didn't hit him." And he says, "Even still," you get, I think, some of the kids shouting, "Eek!" There's someone shouting, "It's going down." But Luffy's just happy, saying he at least someone here has got some backbone. As you got the young Elbaf girls saying, "You're scaring us, Luffy. We hate violence." At least I assume it's mostly the girls. I think there might be one boy in one of the panels, but I can't really tell. But anyway, Colin's just going "That was awesome. I could totally tell you're an Emperor of the Sea." But you got the kids just shouting, "We hate you too, Colin." Let's see, shouting, the wild child is here. Let's see. And then one of them calls like, how you don't even go to school. But he's just like shouting back, telling them that they're losers and he hates that they're sniveling weaklings. With like just others going like, eek, he's so vicious. Then we get Ripley saying it's a lecturing Colin about causing trouble again, though she at the same time she does praise him for doing a good first swing, if you will. With him then just laughing about saying how he's brought his favourite's mom, revealing that Colin is actually Ripley's son. Which shucks, I believe, Sanji going like, what, Mom? You mean Ripley? You're not teaching him the same lessons your school is? Well, I think then saying he should probably apologize about the sneak attack, though. Then we get a revelation that Colin's dad is a human, which surprises him. So Colin's sort of like a half giant, if you will. And saying that he used to be a pirate. He can and apparently revealed that he used to be a pirate and he can even hold his own against Elbaf warriors as well. As Ripley's just happy to have Lingon berries, thinking how sweet it is. Sanji's surprised about how your father's a human, with her saying how he's a younger man, actually. And he says he keeps sulking that he's only one who ages, and that's why he won't marry me. So she's apparently always been a common law wife. Sanji ends up just shouting, who does this guy think he is anyway? Because it seems like Sanji is jealous by the fact that a human is actually able to be in a relationship with a beautiful female giant, but also not really officially counting it as a proper marriage. So we have that. So, that's just ending that part here. So now we can get on to this bit. Okay, first of all, I do like that, for my thoughts on this part here, I do like that you've got Luffy, of course, having a lot of fun playing on a giant swing. Of course he would, but of course he takes it too far. They end up scaring the kids as well as Usopp, which is totally in character him, which of course I do love that Nami is the one to reprint him and beat him up for saying don't scare children, because, well, like I said earlier, she's always had that sort of protective mother-like effect because of what happened to her as a child. She's quite protective of children in general. So so the moment Luffy acts all mean and bullying, she's bound to beat him up. We saw that as well as Momonosuke a few times as well. No, granted, I think she more beaten up Sanji and Brock for that one. Oh, and Kimimon. I do like also that Usopp was unfortunately caught in the crossfire. Let's see. Though I'm not really sure if I'm a fan of that. Joke of a Momonosuke joke of crying boys going to the big the pretty lady women, or this case this being Gerd instead of Nami and Robin, about taking advantage about Luffy being mean to them. Though I will admit it is funny that Sanji is at first trying to calm down Luffy, saying children here are well-meaning and kind, but then to find out that okay, it seems to be a universal trait that all young boys are leeches, leeches little dirty cheeky buggers, if you will. But yeah. Well, it is interesting to see that Luffy is a bit being a bit angry and overreacting about children not being proper warriors, because and Usopp's the one that's being understanding of the situation, even if he is disappointed, because, well, I know. To me, it seems like Elbaf as trying to become a more developed and peaceful land, and I think Shanks did give Luffy the sort of lesson that it doesn't. It's not always best to go charging into a fight, but it seems like Luffy is being a bit more of let's see, more thinking along that line set. Granted, we do know that he takes Shanks' lessons very seriously, as we saw in Jaya, but who knows? Perhaps maybe, I don't know. I guess he got this like image of just warrior giants in his head and just can't get it down. But I guess it's a bit different than I thought, like Usopp learning that maybe the witty Elbaf giant warrior's way might not be the best way to be a warrior, but as some people theorize for his character development. But who knows? That's not the case, though. I do like he has a bit of a self-awareness about witty Elbaf trying to be peaceful is a good thing, even if he's disappointed about not seeing all the warriors. Though lucky for Luffy, there's at least one kid that is actually a warrior, and that's Colin. Which, to be fair, that probably should have been the case for us since the first chapter we saw him. Just as the Redhead Pirates are about to go and face Kid, since he did want to join their crew, but Shanks says, "Nope, I'm not letting you on the ship." And we see just that reckless streak there as he tries to attack Luffy. I do like how it does seem to somewhat mirror, like, let's see, Whitebeard's in Marineford with a giant trying to strike him down, but only to have his sword broken. And then Luffy, but though granted, I will admit, Luffy is perhaps going a bit far with, like, going, like, gear third with the elephant gun. Though, I suppose I should be glad that he did manage to not fully repeat like the whole what happened to that giant against Whitebeard. And I do like that Usopp is calling Luffy out for like, yeah, don't do this, dude. Don't attack a child like that. That's going too far. Even though Luffy's being casual about like he didn't hit him. But nevertheless, Luffy is impressed. But see all the other kids seeing now starting to be afraid of Luffy, but also they all seem to hate Colin. But Colin is just glad that Luffy is living up to his reputation of being an emperor of the sea. Let's see, as he's heard so much about Luffy from Shanks, of course. But anyway, but we learn that the other kids who all like peace and not like violence hate Colin, thinking he's like a reckless, violent kid. So, yeah, it makes sense that he would be the outcast if all these kids are going more peaceful route. It seems like they might dislike Luffy now as well, but nevertheless, Colin doesn't really seem to care, which I will admit. But granted, I do think this might mean we get a little bit of a story arc for Colin where the kids might, let's see, all these kids are like, no, violence is icky, but at the very least, they might be more open down the line of open for more self-defense. And I think Colin might, down the line for his character journey for the Elbaf arc to learn, perhaps maybe it's not always the wisest thing to rush in headstrong first. And there are times when you shouldn't fight. But yeah, so there's stuff like that, but we'll have to wait and see. But it is interesting to learn that Colin is actually Ripley's son. And also, his father is a human, so he's technically a half-giant, which I am curious to see, or half-human, half-giant, which I'm curious to see how the biology of that works. I mean, granted, we got, like, in Harry Potter, let's see, though granted I haven't read Harry Potter in a long time. We know that Hagrid's father was human, and or wizard, and that his, let's see, mother was a giant. So, it seems like... in terms of like giants, in terms like One Piece's let's see, giants, if you were, I mean Harry Potter giants, if you're half giant, you'd be more of just a large human. But it seems like in One Piece it's the opposite, which I kind of actually like. But anyway, but yeah. Now as who his father is, let's see, if many people had to guess, it's that mysterious figure that let's see was walking in Elbaf's jungle a few chapters back, who was seemed to be a friend of, I'm trying to remember, Crocus from the Lighthouse, which many believe is Scarpa Gaban. So many are thinking like, okay, the one other important member of Raj's crew is probably on this island, so who knows, he might be the father. But who knows? Other than that, people theorize Shiki, but I think it's more likely Scarpa Gaban. Though, granted, it is actually interesting that it is actually interesting to see that Scott, let's see, even though, let's see, Ripley's had a relationship to him and considers herself a common law wife, let's see, the human father is not really, doesn't really consider himself to be, doesn't officially consider to marry her because he feels like due to the sort of like age difference between humans and giants, he ages while they, for the most part, will stay the same for a very long time. So feels like that age difference takes effect, but Ripley doesn't seem to care and just considers herself a common law wife. Though I do like how Sanji seems to be quite shocked by all this and curious and also getting jealous and thinking that Colin's father's being a fool because it's like he'd probably marry that giant beauty if he could get away with it. If he could. Anyway, I do like how the mother seems to be a bit both like, hey, no, let's see, causing trouble, Colin, but is impressed by his like him trying to do sneak it, but is pretty impressed by him trying to do a good swing. Now, it's interesting that she's doesn't mind her son trying to be a warrior instead of all the rest of the kids. So yeah. So that's interesting. Anyway, let's see. Where was I? Oh yeah. We cut to like the next Fritzy page where we've got Luffy back in the library thinking how cool it is. We talk about particularly about all the books are huge, which is pretty interesting since Luffy's the type of character to not actually properly read. Robin ends up telling her that she wants to catch up with Sol, so she'll stop by the feast later. So we've got that with Sol explaining that it'll be fine as the feast will last 3 days and nights. With Chopper revealing that he's going to stay too, as he wants to probably read the books, with Luffy understanding. Lilith also says not to worry about her, so let's see, she's putting her asks permission to put her roots down here. As Barney is also saying the same thing, as they're seemingly both wanting to staying here on Elbaf. And then you get Frankie saying, listen up, as it turns out, this whole island is an Adam tree, saying that it's the ultimate tree whose wood I would use to build the Sunny. And says that, saying he's going to soak in the majesty of the jewel tree, so he wants to look more into it. Solon says that there are several Adam trees in the world, but this one's by far the oldest. Luffy just thinking, okay, it's fine, everyone. He's saying they'll go back first. As he's ready to eat, he's starving now. Gerd ends up saying that she has a request for everyone, and they're wondering like what it is. And it's none other than Gerd changing each of the remaining Straw Hats who were not Ritzy in the Alabasta group that first came here, giving them new Elbaf-like get-ups, as Ritzy Brock is like thanking them, going like, what do you think? Do I look like a warrior? Robin saying that these are lovely and thanking Gerd. Frankie is just excited about his, saying, you're killing it, Brooke. How about me? I definitely feel stronger. But how did you have all these clothes in our size? With Gerd revealing that I have a hobby of making human clothes. That's all, though. Honestly, nothing else. Thinking to herself, they're so cute. And she's happy to like them. Jinbei is also saying these are surprisingly comfortable and easy to move around. I'll just give a bit more descriptions and my thoughts on this in a bit. But Luffy's just like saying, okay, see you guys in the village. As remaining Straw Hats, staying behind the library, plus Gerd and Colin flying in the sky to go there. So they tell them that they'll the other Straw Hats say they'll catch up later. But anyway, I'm just going to do this other double panel where let's see, I believe it's a double panel where we cut back to the Elbaf Castle or the Artist Castle saying Western Village of Elbaf. Let's see, with the giants being surprised how pipsqueak humans get in there, saying that they feel as guards. Let's see, asking if they are part of Straw Hat's crew and saying you must be if you were in this country. But we again see like let's see the same hooded female figure that was with the evil Shanks, with her saying like, "We're looking for the person named Loki," with the giants laughing, saying, "Let's see, are you kidding? He's a criminal. What do you want with him?" And going on about how he killed the king, their beloved people, who was beloved by all the people of the realm, saying that Loki's the scourge of Elbaf, and saying that no one's in this castle. With them saying then, with them asking then, saying, "Where is he? Answer me." With the giants saying they're not going to tell her, because, you know, if you're going to free him, that's going to cause them problems. With them saying, "So you will not say," and they're responding, "Nope, sorry," as then you get the female cloaked figure, let's see, doing something coming out of her cloak, where you get this sort of da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, shocking the giants. But let's see, and you see one of them being wrapped around, saying in some sort of wrap, with them going like, "What kind of joke is this?" As then he starts screaming in pain, with the other giant going like, "Hey, what's wrong?" As the white bearded giant. Let's see, there's a white bearded and a black bearded one. I probably should have made the details there out there. As the white bearded one falls to the ground, as the female cloaked figure says, "Behave yourself, you insolent lout. Do you think I asked you a question?" As you see more in the pain of the white bearded giant, as he goes like, "I gave you an order to answer me." With the black bearded one saying, "Hey, what's happening?" As that ends that part of the page. Anyway, my thoughts on these parts. Okay, first off, it's interesting for once Luffy's excited about a library, because I do remember that it was like this one book, one filler where Luffy took interest in a book and all the Straw Hats were like, "Shock Luffy wanting to read," which seems like a bit of a unlikely thing for like Luffy, but yeah. But anyway, I do like that Robin is just telling Luffy he's going to keep touch and catch up with Soul, so that probably means that she's doing more of her learning about the Urahara libraries and just more and of course spending time with Soul. So I do like that. So at the very least, we are getting a use out of Soul, so that works. And I do like that Chopper's also staying here too. Thank you, of course, to study more of the Elbaf books. Granted, we're seeing that both Lilith and Bonnie seem to be staying here. Let's see, we know that Lilith is going to stay here and do a new lab and bring back, try and bring back Vegapunk and restore Kuma's memories, so that's not a surprise. Though granted, it seems like Bonnie wants to stay here as well, which is kind of disappointing, because I was quite on board with the idea of Bonnie becoming the Straw Hat, next Straw Hat, being a sort of like little apprentice that would be for the Straw Hats. Oh, like how Shanks was to Roger, she'd be that to like Luffy. But who knows? We have to wait and see. And I figured because, well, if like Luffy teaching her how to be a proper sun god Nika, if you will, but that might not be the case. Granted, we'll still have to wait and see. We have to wait and see if Kuma is actually getting his memories restored, or if perhaps these God Knights take out Kuma. Now, granted, I do wonder if that might also mean that we might get a possible, if Kuma's memories is restored, he ends up joining the Straw Hats, but let's see, along with Bonnie, but which would be interesting, but who knows? Let's see. We'll have to wait and see on that regard. But yeah. It would be kind of interesting the fact that Luffy would get 2 Warlords of the Sea as his crew, but who knows? Let's see. But anyway, I do also like that Frankie is also going to check out the Atom Tree, since he learned that the whole island is one, and since the Sunny has been built for it, but built from it, so he wants to look more into it. And let's see. This is have me hoping that this leads to Frankie doing some upgrades to the ship. So I'm thinking he might make it into a sort of mini Pluton, given the fact that the Blackbeard pirates are likely to get Pluton now that Karibo is in their possession. So there's that. We also learned that, well, there's also more other Adam trees around, but the one in Elbaf is the oldest. But anyway, Luffy's just ritzy. I didn't like Luffy's fine about that, and he's just starving anyway, so he wants to eat. But I do like how Gerd, comes in and designs clothes for the remaining Straw Hats. Though granted, we learned it's apparently a hobby of hers, but she says nothing else. Probably in trying to defend that okay, she likes making these little clothes, but if nothing whatever Road might ever end up doing, forcing the clothes on the people and all that stuff. Probably arguably doesn't really want to be compared to Road, since she considers him a bit of a creep. But she's more like a different reaction of thinking that's adorable seeing everyone in Elbaf clothes. So yeah. Anyway, for the designs, okay, I like the helmet that Brock has, and he seems to be having more Britzy armored plated armor and a skull belt. Let's see. Also, he seems to be just having all his bone parts covered up besides his face, so it's interesting. And none of that skull. Let's see, having his chest bared with his skull thing. Instead, that's more appears to be Frankie and Jinbei. Though granted, I think Jinbei is actually wearing a sort of top, but yeah. Robin is, of course, wearing a sort of very sexy Viking girl outfit, but granted, perhaps maybe a bit more modest than Nami's. I mean, granted, you have one side, one leg showing and one covered, so there's that. And she seems to have a more, formal woman's top than, say, Nami, which has a bit of exposure to the chest, and a more light Viking cloak. Brock has a black one, I should mention. Frankie also has black, and Jinbei also has more white, though granted, I'm sure the color schemes in the anime and the colored manga will show them as different colors. Speaking of Frankie, I do like how he seems to have a Viking helmet that makes it look like he has horns coming out from his ears, if you will, and just pretty much has a big black cloak thing around him. No top wearing, showing his manly chest, if you will, and also also another skull belt that Brock has, as well as a sort of metal undergarment plate, if you will. Jinbei, I believe is wearing a sort of Viking sort of shirt with a white cloak. He's got what appears to be sort of an axe or hammer behind him. Oh yeah, Brock has got a shield behind him as well, besides his cane sword. And instead of a skull belt, Jinbei has a snake belt. And let's see, and just a bit of sort of black plated armors around his legs. So there's that. So yeah, I like the designs. I'd probably say Robin and Jinbei are probably my favorites. Let's see. Robin looking like a cool Viking gal. Jinbei looking like a mighty Viking warrior. Let's see. Brock, well, granted, he's the skinniest, so he can't look like the muscular thing. And he seems to be a bit more plated than I was expecting. But Frankie, yeah, that pretty much suits him. Anyway, as they all flying about. Anyway, let's see. Well, everyone is hyped about Shanks. I would admit this female, female's God's Knight that we're introduced here is doing also a very good impression, if you will, at least showing to be a threat, where she seems to have this sort of rap ability, probably devil fruit to restrain the giants and cause immense pain to them and all that stuff as interrogation. We'll have to wait and see what her fruit is, but it is interesting that the giants, of course, they have some giants guarding an empty castle at first, thinking they're with the Straw Hats, but nope, that's not the case. And we learn that apparently the evil Shanks and his God Knight's partner are actually looking here for Loki, which the giants, of course, aren't going to allow that to happen because they think he's a troublemaker and all that. So they're not going to have him. They're going to refuse to have him released. But we learn that the female knight is pretty ruthless, saying, "No, I'm not asking. I'm demanding you tell me where he is." So it's show just how ruthless. So, but yeah. The evil Shanks one is just looking, let's say, just waiting in the background, really, not doing everything as his partner does the work. So I do like that, and just showing just how ruthless she actually is. But yeah. Anyway, Now for the last part of the chapter. We get a double-page spread of the Western Elbaf village saying that, let's see, as I think Usopp and Luffy are just shouting from the distant East Blue. They've come to this place at last. With people saying, hey, that's the Straw Hat crew. As you see Usopp and Luffy jumping in joy, cheering, saying, the land of giants at last, the kingdom of the world's strongest warriors. Granted, there might be more of the citizens saying from the distant East Blue coming here at last. So, but yeah, you got Usopp and let's see Luffy cheering, Doggy and Broggy saying, "We're glad you're here. We've been awaiting you." Saying how these peace groups humans who understood and protected our warriors' pride. Then you got Omi and Kashi saying, "The ones who freed us from prison of our own ignorance," and Hujuden saying, "Who saved my life when I was in danger of vanishing into nothing." As you get, I believe, Broggy shouting, Elbaf, welcome these little friends to our land. As you get people celebrating, going, woo! As Usopp's just smiling, saying, they might be small, but don't overlook them. Luffy's just laughing. On the sea, Straw Hat Luffy is a great pirate, one of the 4 emperors. As you've got, like, Jimbo just calmly listening in, Sanji also calmly listening in, Brock celebrating, woohoo, but Nami's covering her ears like, because how loud it is. As you get the giant shouting, saying he was the front and center of the great Wano incident. So it seems to be referring to a Wano incident, at least by the Viz translations, where apparently that monster Kaido and Big Mom fell in battle. As you get the giants, let's see, some of them from like let's see, Doggy and Broggy's crew and others just civilians saying, to the Straw Hats, we raise these friend cups. Ah, cheers! As you get everyone doing like mugs in the air, celebrating. Cheers! As we hear a Bo Jar 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 saying you can hear them from here. It looks like the Straw Hats are back. As you've got another giant there. As it's revealed to be none other than Streusen, where he's going like let's see, surprising Luffy saying, you're the giant that we had captured back in Shabodi, with him saying the very same, saying he's at his service, and saying from what he heard from Juden that he's now under their lead, which he feels like it's fate in the works. As we end up getting a little flashback to see what it was like 2 years ago, saying how he would pay their debt. And then we get a little refresher from Oda, and there's a little chibi, like, let's see, refreshers he does, saying, does some refresher, talking about how he was abducted. Let's see, saying that this old napping friend of theirs, it was an old napping friend of Hajuden, was nearly sold off to a human auction. Luckily for him, the Straw Hats crew wrecked the auction for an unrelated reason, and thus he escaped. Pretty much showing Streusen with like Rayleigh, who removed his collar, as we see in the background Luffy punching St. Charles, which is quite funny. But Luffy's just saying, okay, he sees, and saying he's glad he made it out. As Jarl finally arrives, saying, is everyone having fun? Everyone's excited that Chief Jarl is here. Luffy's confused who that is, as Doggy and Broggy, I think Broggy's saying, Bo Ja Ja Ja. Let's see, Broggy saying, Chief Jarl's come all the way to the village, as we see Beardho Joe, hero of the giants, oldest in the world, age 408, as he's laughing, saying, I hear you got some little guests. And Usopp and Luffy are shocked by how look at him as a giant, saying he's like a walking hill, as he's shown to be much bigger than even Doggy and Broggy. And we see that he has a sword, stuck inside his helmet, if you will. Luffy, of course, notices and saying, hey, old man, there's a sword stuck in your head. With let's see, Joel going like laughing and saying, saying not to worry, the helmet saved my life. But Luffy is concerned, saying it's going all the way through, as you see the sword from the back of the helmet, seemingly like it's like gone through his entire skull. Let's see, John concern, ending the chapter. Okay, now for my thoughts on this part here. I do like how everyone's excited for the Straw Hats to arriving, and Usopp and Luffy are just celebrating because they're finally here celebrating at the world's strongest kingdom, if you will. I love the fact that Oda got into panel with like all these different giants that Luffy met throughout Luffy and the Straw Hats met throughout this journey, where we see Doggy and Brocky, who they helped protect their pride as warriors when Mr. Free tried to sabotage the duel to try and capture them both. And then Umi and Kashi, happy for them freeing them from like the ignorance of being tricked by the world government into thinking that their captains were captured and they had to stand guard for 100 years, which he doing 50 of those said 100. And then Hadrudin, who was saved by the Straw Hats due to Usopp knocking out Sugar, who turned him into a toy, and he would have been forgotten by everyone else if not for the Straw Hats knocking Sugar out. So I love that they're all just thanking them, talking about talking about how Luffy, of course, is a great pirate, one of the emperors, and there's also involved the one responsible for the incident involving Kaido, and the defeat of Kaido and Big Mom, which they raise their cups in friendship, which I do like. I like how most of the Straw Hats are just calmly or cheering up the celebration, but Nami, being perhaps more of the least impressed by Elbaf culture, is just like, this is too loud. So I do like that part. Interesting the fact that they all talk about how Luffy, the Straw Hats beated both Kaido and Big Mom together. Makes me wonder if they don't know shows that they don't really know the full details, that it was ultimately Kid and Law that did the final blow against Big Mom, as Luffy more target towards Kaido rather than fighting Big Mom, which was a little bit of a criticism I had of Luffy trying to attack Big Mom at all during the West Generation versus the Yonko crew in that fight. But nevertheless, I do believe that will probably come into play at some point with Kid, because I do think Kid is still around and will be helped by the Elbaf Giants at the very least, because he took part in defeating Big Mom. So there's like that. Anyway, I do like Luffy and Stussen catch up with Luffy, recognizing, the giant from Shabodi, and he's going I'm glad to be at your service in Straw Hat, and is happy that when he learned that Hadrudin, thinking that Hadrudin has said that they're now going to work under him, thinking it must be a mark of fate. I do like the sort of refresher Oda does of showing Stussen with Rayleigh, but you have Luffy punching Charlos in the background in that little funny way. So there's that. But at the very least, it seems that Luffy, for once, is actually kind of glad to see one of these giants and doesn't probably mind being, him talking about being a subordinate for a change. Though, granted, he doesn't really, of course, like being referred to as the big boss. But anyway, we finally got Jowl arriving, and he is even bigger than the other giants, and I do like that to show, given how old he is, that he's now 408, which makes him also the oldest giant in the world. In any ways, he's lived through more than half of the world government's reign, if you will. So, let's see. So it's over 400 years, which is slightly above half of the world government's regime. So I do like that. And I do like how we see the contrast in size between him and Broggy. So, was it Dory? Let's see, giants. Let's see, Broggy, I've been getting it right. Sorry, people. I was just a bit might have gone a little bit wrong there, but yeah. So you got Dory being a regular giant and him being twice the size, and if I had to guess, 3 or 4 times as wide, but it's a massive white beard and a sword in his head. And I just love the fact that he seems to be so casual about it, but Luffy's what? Why do you have a sword in your head? And thinking shouldn't you be dead? But instead we get the funny reaction about how the helmet saved his life, but it's all the way through. So yeah, that's an interesting way to actually see this character again, which, to be honest, I figured before this arc, he would probably be likely dead, but nope, he's still alive. And we're about to see, and it's curious to see what kind of things he will be doing with like the Straw Hats, let's see, during this arc. I doubt he'll have a major role. I think he'll probably give them some wisdom and info, maybe help them along the lines of whatever journey they're going to have or conflict they have in this arc. But nevertheless, we'll see it. We'll learn more about how he got that wound in the next chapter. Overall, I'd say it's a good chapter for the most part. We're seeing Robin and Chopper spending time in the library, learning that a giant owl that has a possible grow devil fruit is what made the enlarges the newspapers and books in this library for from human size to Elbaf size, so that works. Let's see, Luffy a bit mixed on Luffy being upset about how the kids aren't warriors. I do like how he goes over the top of trying to play with them. They get scared of him. Nami lectures them. We're learning that Colin is actually the one troublemaker that actually wants to be a warrior. Let's see, learning that he's also a half giant and mated with and that he's Ripley's son, and that he has a human father, which is likely Scappa Gabon, or the hooded figure, the silhouette figure that's in Elbaf, who hopefully is Scappa Gabon. Let's see, we're seeing the new design, the Elbaf designs for the remaining Straw Hats. Let's see, seeing one of the abilities of the Guards Knights, which seems to be a wrapping ability with some sort of devil fruit ability, restraining the giants in the castle and torturing them. And the celebration has finally happened with Luffy and the Straw Hats, as you see all the giants that they know throughout the years, thanking them for their service and even a bit of a refresher with a little bit of Sharlos. And, of course, seeing Joel for the first time since Big Mom's flashback, showing he's much bigger than all the other giants now and got a sword in his head. So overall, I'd say a very good chapter. I'd give it a sort of 8.5 out of 10. Would have given it a 9 if not for I did not like that sort of repeated Sanji mad at kids taking advantage of their young size and feel like they're being bullied by Luffy Momonosuke type jokes. So yeah. Taking half a point for that one, but other than that, it's fine. So yeah, overall, those are my thoughts. I hope that those who end up listening to what I've said enjoyed what I've had to say. I look forward to next time reviewing the next One Piece chapter. Let's see when I get the chance to do so. But for now, I am Blue Star Saber signing off. Thank you, everyone, and goodbye for now.